Welcome back to Careful. I'm Kara, and this is the third and last part of my Cyberdeck build, aka my macOS tablet of sorts. In the last part, I made everything fit into my chassis and made a controller with an e-ink display and a joystick. And today I'm gonna move everything into the final CNC shell that is made of aluminum by PCBWay, who is also graciously sponsoring this build and series of videos. Let's go! Look at this! It's lighter than I thought. Yes, both are there. Stickers. Anyways, for my taxes. I'm so excited. Yes. Oh my god. Okay. It's so light! Fusion 360 made a mistake. That's perfect. 1 week after ordering it, I realized that I didn't check on Fusion 360 how much it's gonna weigh, and it gave me like 1,600 grams or something, and I was like, ugh. But look, this is pretty. So many hearts. This is gonna dissipate the heat so well. I love the finish. It's very, very nice. And the middle spline / top shell is also gorgeous. This is really nice. Let's assemble this. I'm gonna first make sure that the keyboard is actually straight. It actually might be slightly bent too from when I took it apart. I need to bend this back. My plan is to glue this into place using iPhone screen glue, not touch it for 24 hours and just clamp it the entire time. This keyboard is not perfect, but I couldn't source another one, at least not a better one. It's gonna just be a little bit vintage. I overshot all my clearances. Nice. My initial idea was to use a lot of these clamps. This is a pretty nice fit. I'm just worried about this side because the keyboard is bent. And there you go. If it stays like this, the feeling of this keyboard will be incredible. That's pretty cool. I feel like the touch feeling of the keyboard is actually better than before. It's like more like a tonk. The original keyboard had a steel backplate. This is aluminum. Yeah, pretty cool. A big thank you to PCBWay for supporting this project. If I wanted to build something but like 3D printers or an assembly line, PCBWay is a one-stop manufacturing shop for PCBs, including rigid flex and assembly, 3D printing, including metal, CNC machining, sheet metal fabrication, and injection molding. Go to their website and simply use the auto quote. I know you need 3D printed titanium in your life. PCBs start at $5 for 10 pieces. Please tell them I sent you by using the affiliate link below. Now back to tearing things down. I have a new clean slate, my screen, and some paper-like screen protectors. They're plastic, PETG, slightly textured so that it feels like paper. I decided to use this because otherwise it's gonna scratch since it's a tablet. This is the built-in screen protector. I just hope I don't mess up. It's not perfect. It's where the plastic has already peeled. Yeah, it's matte and it's kind of beautiful. And now I need to cut it out. I'm gonna try a scalpel blade. I'm gonna take a 24 blade. Yeah, it's good enough. And it's dirty and already scratched. But hey, it's a screen protector, it's meant to be scratched, I guess. I didn't expect it to be that easy. Everything looks fine. Okay. Since my trackpad is pink, I decided to get some vinyl. It's very close, not perfect, but still better than black or this gray. Now I'm gonna cover this. Pretty good. I'm gonna transfer all of this over there. This is the pinhole for reset. So I just added a few dabs of glue to secure it in place. This would not have been that bad. Let's keep everything sleek for now. I can always switch it up later. Yep, pretty. Here's my computer as it was before. I didn't reprint this part because it's totally fine, but I reprinted this one and a lot of other things so that when you can peek through the backplate, you see gray instead of plastic. I'm gonna remove the thermal pad. I have a new one and I might switch to thermal paste or thermal putty, but I want to see what contact I have first. Okay. Let's do this. I checked and you can actually get a replacement part of this on the Apple Repair website, but it's 70 euros after sending back the broken one. So let's not do this. I hope I can use my computer today. And now the tricky part. I realized that you can actually use the trackpad as a power on button. What is wrong with you? Let's see if it still clicks if I use a needle. What the fuck? It doesn't click. The actual micro switch might be broken. It's a pity, but I still have the trackpad as a power on button. Let's reconnect it. I guess that's it. Yeah, the screws are perfect. I'm gonna need a small 3D printed cover here, but I'm gonna do it at the end. For this thing, it needs to end up like this, but to insert it, as far as I remember, can you imagine if I didn't have a keyboard? The latch just go up, this goes down. Same here. Come on, baby. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, now it's in. And now you curve this around. But I think this should be okay. Yep. Okay. Nice. I should add some Kapton tape just in case this contacts. It's not really clean. Who's gonna see this? Next step, this shape. I designed it so that I can pass it through here. Oh, I need a heated insert first. This goes around. This slides into here, and you need to bend this back inside. It's kind of annoying, but it's the best I came up with. And it's in. Everything fits. Needs to be connected like this here, but I'm gonna do it after the battery. Got a new battery tray so that it's more resistant to heat. It's not that important actually, but I don't want to heat up the battery with the screen. And we have a transplant. Nice. I use Kapton tape because it's pretty good at grabbing the texture. Also, these scissors are short since I cut the aluminum. I need to replace them. This is getting crowded. I think I'm gonna route this first. This is the fan for the processor. And it just plugs in there. This is the thermistor that I'm gonna use on the heatsink. The battery cable will go like that. Yeah, we're close to the finish line. Let's get a new thermal pad. Could have gone better, but I'm gonna take it, okay? And now my heatsink. Oh yeah, I wanted to glue this here. I could either do it on the top like this or on the bottom like that. That's how we used to do it for 3D printers back in the day. Yeah, contact seems good. This didn't get in the way and this still fits. Good. Next step is I/O. My problem with this is that my screws are not really good enough to hold this into place. I'm just gonna use hot glue. You can just inject a bead to stop this from moving. It's always fine. You stay here. Hot glue is always the answer. Like zip ties, they're marvelous inventions. As you can see, space is tight, but I think it can fit by putting these around here and just forcing everything inside. Yep, this is in. And the last one goes here. And then over there. Okay. Yeah, space constraint over here. But it should fit, it should. It has to. That goes into this part of the frame. And one that aligns. It actually goes into the frame. Yeah, got it. Nice. I don't have a very good plan for the antennas, but I thought that maybe I can just slide them here and pray. As long as it doesn't hide behind some aluminum, we're fine. I'm gonna try if I need to service this joystick. This should go underneath in diagonal like this. As far as I remember, it fits. Yep, like this. I'm gonna add a strip of cotton tape here in case it touches the aluminum. It's probably fine because it's mostly grounding, but you never know. And I know it will trap heat, but we don't really care right now. Okay, looks decent. This still slots into place, and this can just go there. Yeah, man. Last step is the trackpad. I want to move it to this plate so that it disappears into the back plate. Okay, we have a trackpad, and we need to remove these 3 screws. Connect this. Now the cooling. I just hope I didn't break anything. And flip it, flip. I swear we meant. Okay, this one maybe needs to go underneath, actually. Can you imagine if my keyboard is not completely plugged in and I need to undo all of this? I don't want to think about it. And now we have extra space to make this fall into this gap. Great. Moment of truth. I will connect the battery and try to turn it on. External power. There's a blue LED. And it works. I'm gonna carefully turn it over to see if the screen is on. You're gonna have to believe me. Yeah, it's on. The keyboard is working. Okay, let's close this up. And yeah, I'm gonna need to work on the joystick. It's currently drifting, but that's a minor problem. Yeah, it's very tight. You can do it, you can do it. Okay, let's try to add screws and go from there. Yeah. Yeah, the bunching of cables is really the problem here. Also, the glue on my keyboard is giving up because I didn't wait enough. Okay, let's try to relieve some of the cables. Okay, why no power? Blue LED is on. I'm gonna wait a little bit. Yeah, no power. Yeah, now I have a blue light. And it works. Do I have a display? I have a display. Okay, the battery is empty, but yep. I'm gonna try to nibble away at this connector just a bit, just so that it fits. There's still a lot of insulation. Yeah, this is much better fit. Listen, maybe that's good enough, at least for this part of the problem. Actually, I'm gonna add some hot glue on the joystick because it's moving a little bit. And I'm gonna try to find a way to make everything fit without that much force. It's been a week I have been using it and fine-tuned details, so here are my findings. The final dimensions are 286.5 by 274.6 by 18 or 19 if you count the travel of the keys and the joystick cap. That's just 3 mm more than the normal MacBook. I believe I'll get the 1 mm I added for the controller panel when I get time to make a flex PCB that tidies up everything here underneath the control panel. I would also love to add a light sensor and directly wire into the LCD controller to programmatically control the backlight or just the OSD. It's very easy to reverse engineer. The weight is exactly 1600 grams, so we gain 300 grams and half of it is pure cooling. Worth it. I said before that I added port and it's a complicated situation. Here they are. Technically I have multiplied them because the internal hub is allowing me not to lose much, but I have a USB-C PD charging port that doesn't allow data, sadly. One full-fledged 3.2 USB-C and a full-size SD card slot. And I'm achieving this while also connecting internally to the display, its digitizer, that's USB, the keyboard, that is USB, and the controller/Meshtastic device that I also connect by USB to not use any extra batteries. I don't really need more ports, and I use the charging and the SD card slot daily, so the charging port is no problem for me. And it's kinda nice to use the spare port to connect any USB device, like a 2.5 gig Ethernet NIC or an SSD. Oh, and I also have a headphone jack and I don't know what to use it for. I heard the popular. This joystick is now a 3DS joystick because it's much more compact. It's not very good, it tends to drift if you look at it bad, but it's good enough and allows me to do small, precise mouse adjustments. When the touchscreen is not enough and I don't want to use the trackpad, that's good. And I love that you can have metal button caps for the joystick. This one feels very good. Maybe the capacitive buttons they have here, there, and over here aren't the smartest idea because sometimes I find that I'm searching for the click button, but I like the hard texture being the triggers, and I don't use it that much. The keyboard feels great and very chunky. It's like I remember in the 2008 days, except this one has a thick aluminum backplate instead of a thin strip of steel. I might have damaged it a little bit while tearing it down, but I love it. I have used a Meshtastic board for the MCU, and that controls the e-ink display, the controls, the fan, and the thermistor. For that, I tweaked the firmware to add features, and I still have some headroom. The general idea is why not use a Meshtastic device if it comes in a similar package than just a standard ESP32. And I also have GNSS/GPS and Meshtastic, of course. I plan to code software that pulls data from the Mac and puts it on an ink display, like maybe a today view or something, but I still haven't gotten the time to really brainstorm and get into it. I prefer to put this video out first. For now, I have added a Meshtastic page with the time, temperature of the radiator, Meshtastic stats like the number of nodes and GPS, and a Dancy ASCII card that is the Mona ASCII card from Tushan back in the day. It changes poses every now and then. There's a pinhole here that allows me to flash the MCU on the go without disassembling anything. It's kind of nice to be in bed and be like, actually the scroll direction should be inversed and I don't want to do that in software. Let's just do it in firmware. And you just click, flash it, and done. I got a lot of questions about it. Yeah, the trackpad is on the back and I love it. It's a stupid. This is now my daily communicator and internet machine, my typewriter, the one that I use to do research. So I often use it in bed and I just put my hand behind it when it's on my lap and have access to trackpad to have precision and multi-touch gestures. It's fun, quirky, and it's kind of fun to use like this because I have long fingers and it just works. But I mostly use the touchscreen. The touchscreen support on macOS is not so good. This digitizer exposes one multi-touch device and a mouse HID, and that's what I use. And honestly, after learning curve, it's okay. You learn to not use your full fat finger on it, but you don't get the finger intent approximation that an iPad or even Windows has. TouchUp is an open source app that is supposed to bring support, but it doesn't really work for me so far. There's an app named UPDD that was developed for kiosk vendors and this kind of stuff. It's way beyond my reach at 110 euros before taxes. Apparently, Apple brought better touch support with gesture for iPad via ASCII card on macOS 27. So I'm very curious whether that helps out in the end. Maybe there is some hooks I can plug the driver into. Rumors are that the design that maybe a touchscreen Mac is coming, and if that's the case, we'll be easily be able to just cobble together actual great touch support with the finger approximation, gesture, everything. On battery, the touchscreen doesn't enumerate back when woken up sometimes, because on battery it takes just a tick longer to power on the USB devices. I vibe coded the script that re-enumerates the devices, and that seems to fix it for all scenarios. Also, I believe the digitizer of the screen is pulling a bit more current that I would like, but hey, I have to deal with it, so I decided to just disable as many things possible that can drain the battery when it's sleeping. I use hibernation, level 25 sleep instead of level 2 sleep, and disable things like handoff. It's not ideal because the screen takes a lot of time to boot up, and everything together makes it like 15 seconds coming back from sleep. But hey, it's the life that I've chosen. So you just heard it, I have to address it. I was out of my depth of a few things and there was no available setting or software to fix them. So I vibe coded solutions and they work pretty well. Let's say I believe that open source vibe coded projects that have not been properly rewritten or audited are DC, so you won't find them on GitHub for now. I have made these utilities, one that inverts the Y direction of the trackpad so that the trackpad on the back makes logical sense through the body of the device. I have made a utility that forces a re-enumeration of the digitizer after sleep, and a utility that allows me to selectively disable USB input devices, for example the trackpad. And finally, the thermal profile is really interesting. The thermistor I added is on the copper radiator you see through the grates. And I decided to trigger the fan I added only when the radiator is about 45 degrees, and then it stops when it's back down to 37. That basically translates to when the processor is under constant load, like compiling, and reaches 70°C. In daily typewriter use, you never hear it because the radiator connects to the aluminum chassis, and that saves so much thermal mass that just radiates it out. As you've seen before, coming from the original thermal design of the M1 MacBook Air, you unlock the full unthrottled CPU power, and that gives you an extra 8.7% extra performance in Cinebench. And overall, with the heatsink and the extra thick aluminum shell, you get a similar profile to water cooling, where any peak in CPU usage is absorbed immediately by the mass. And I did mention it before, the radiator usually is under 40°C and the body is like 35°C, which is pretty comfortable. It's currently 39.8 degrees in a room where I'm blasting a lot of light and a lot of heat. Pretty nice. I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments. Follow me on all socials. I'm now also on Threads. I might choose it more than TikTok after all. Also Instagram at I'm Careful. Everywhere you'll recognize my profile picture. Thank you for following along, and welcome to all the new people that came in the last 2 weeks. I'm very, very grateful, and I'm excited to share the next project with you. Cheers!